going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chucky, I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Happy hump day. It is Wednesday, halfway through the week. Well, I guess it's technically more than halfway through the week since today's finished. 2 days left. We got this. We got this. All right. I've got some court to watch. You guys want to watch some court with me? I hope so. Got two cases tonight. Both of them are about a half hour long. First one is Judge Simmons. Second one is Judge Elmore. Let's just say both people that showed up in front of the judge, or these judges, you know what? There's a little bit of attitude, a little bit of yelling. You'll find out. All right, let's watch some court. Before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe. Do your jump kick backflips. Let's go.
Call the record in the matter of Brook Church versus Bruce Hicks in Unlimited Potential. 23-01873. Counsel, have your appearance.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brian Lim on behalf of Hicks.
So many things over, I can't move this around. Okay, and so my hope and understanding that you all were going to try to work on a resolution of the damages. Mr. Rum?
I did talk to Ms. Church about her damages, but we did not come to an agreement.
This file doesn't have it on Facebook. Is that right? Why were you not able to come to resolution of that?
Documents she provided, Your Honor, were prepared by herself, self-serving, not independently verified. A number of the documents were not, the dates provided were not around the dates of the injuries she sustained. So that's why we went to.
Okay, can I see what he provided you? Well, I want to see what he got from you, if he has it.
Heather. All right, no. Enough with the books. It is not a real book. You know, the saying, judge through the book at
Can
them.
you explain these receipts, ma'am?
I know you know.
These are the
I know you
receipts
know,
that
no,
I
no.
would give to somebody when they come and pick up their purchase. I also have like Facebook messages that I really could bring up saying that I couldn't do it because I was hurt. But because I work through Facebook and Snapchat, so social media
So
or
these
word
are,
of mouth.
so what these purport to be are allegedly receipts
That I would
for
give the
whatever
customer.
your business is.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do in your business.
It's holistic, spiritual, natural business. It's called Bees Collection.
Okay, and so you're stating that you were not able to perform work
or leave the house. This is when some of them are when I hurt my leg, some of them because the porch was messed up, so people couldn't come into the house and we couldn't leave the house. When I was on crutches for a week is the dates from in August. There's also some on here when the water was messed up, so I
Wait,
couldn't
what?
use it, but I know that you didn't. There's some when I didn't have water either. So I couldn't do certain things, but he was specifically asking for the dates that I fell or went to urgent care or when the porch wasn't fixed for 4 or 5 days, because there's been two different instances where the porch wasn't fixed, where people couldn't get up on the porch or I couldn't get down off the porch. Some days were when my mother would come and she couldn't get up on the porch, so she couldn't come and get her packages.
Receipts from when your mom would come?
Yeah, there's a few of these where she couldn't get up on the porch.
Okay, I see this. Mom, is that what it says, Mom
Yeah,
Willa?
her name's Willa Buckner.
Okay, why would he pay you $200 because your mom couldn't come to your house?
No, that's her. That's what her cost was for her package.
What do you mean her package?
These are all receipts for me missing money out of my business due to the porch. So this is money.
You gotta help me understand, how are you missing money? Because I saw the pictures of the porch, okay? I understand that
I
there
was
was.
on crutches
No,
for a
well,
week.
ma'am, don't cut me off from mid-sentence. I understand that there was issues with the porch. And so, but there was another entrance, correct?
Yeah, but it has a bin of dirt that it's really hard to move.
Who put the bin of dirt there?
I did, but it's the gates are completely all messed up. There's no way that people can get through there. I wouldn't even want people to get through there. Like the metal's all messed up, like the gates are very raggedy. I would not want anybody to try to
What
go
does that
through
mean?
They're poking out. It's really unsafe for people to get through the back. of
The gates
porch.
open or closed?
The gates are closed.
So it doesn't open?
It not quite. It opens and there's like metal that pokes out when you open it. So we just keep it closed. Like it's very unsafe. My kids don't even go through that way and we don't go through that way. Nobody goes through that way at all.
All right. So just a quick heads up of what's going on here. She had some kind of property destruction happen and she got injured. I didn't see this case happen, but she was injured and this is a adjournment of that case because Judge Simmons said, find out how much, your pain and suffering was. How much, do you think, how much money should you be given? Because I'm gonna grant you some money. Your porch collapsed, you got hurt, you slipped, you fell, you were on crutches for it turns out to be a week. So just find receipts so I can, find out the right amount of money to grant you. That's what happened in the first case. Did not see that, but it's referenced a lot. What this lady did is she has an online business and all of a sudden brought in all these receipts of things that she ordered she wasn't able to accomplish because of what happened. And judge is skeptical. Okay. Now we're on the same page. Let's go.
Okay, so you're stating that you, because the stairs needed to be replaced and or because you suffered injury from use of these stairs, that your mom, for example, mom products, which was mask oil soap clean, $200.
I couldn't leave my house to give her products.
You were gonna give her.
Yeah, that happened a couple years ago when the court community first blew up and everyone started watching Judge Simpson. That article got passed around. So we all know about it. It's one of those things that we all love Judge Simpson. We all know about it. we just kind of we just choose to forget it. So he made a mistake. He was put on suspension for, I don't remember how long it was, 3 months, 6 months, something like that. And he's back, and he's a great judge. So thank you for the super chat. But yes, I was aware of that. But yes, thank you so much for the super chat.
Mask, oil, soap. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
it's like a package. Yes, I hand make everything from
Okay.
natural items.
Okay, and so she couldn't come and get them?
No, she can't drive. She would be here every court date if she could.
So what you're telling me is that you needed to get something to your mom on August 1st, but you couldn't get it because the stairs were broken. And I'm looking at these stairs. Even when they're broken, porch is not that high.
This is when there's been 2 instances, either when I was in crutches or in the boot, or when the stairs were messed up, completely off during that time.
Okay,
So there's been 2 instances where I couldn't get my products to my mother. Not just because the stairs were messed up, because when I left urgent care, I was in a boot for a week, then I was in crutches for a week, I couldn't walk for a week. Like, there was a lot of time where I couldn't even get off the couch.
so explain to me this. After you fell, how did you get back in the house?
I was in crutches. Actually, my fiance carried me into the house.
Up the stairs?
Yes.
Okay, and so for a week, you didn't have any deliveries, you didn't have anything?
I couldn't. I couldn't have any, I couldn't get up to walk to make the products. I had to walk around to go to each station of my house and make the holistic products.
So what is the $200 fee on that particular?
That is how much her package costs.
Her package, meaning what you were gonna make?
What I make for her.
Okay, so you make masks, oil,
I make-
soap, and
I make a lot of
clean?
things. Yep, I do placenta encapsulation. I mean, I do a lot of things. Everything's natural, everything's homemade, so it takes time. I package it in a nice, beautiful box with roses and everything. It takes a lot of time.
Explain to me how you make a mask, oil, soap, and clean.
Okay, so the cleansing of her house would have me been going over there and staging her house and cleaning it for her. The mask is with bentonite clay. I make moon water underneath the full moon, pour it into the mask, mix it with essential oils, add whatever kind of scent they would like, natural herbs, sometimes let it sit in the sun. The candles are beeswax candles, so I go onto my stove, I have to melt the pellets, I pour the pellets into the candles, I wait for the candles, cut the wood wicks, I put essential oils into the candles, I put crystals into the candles and herbs into the candles, wait for them to dry. It's a long process. What else was?
It is a very long process. I understand. It's a long process. Mary, no, you're good. Yeah, he has a great heart. He made a mistake. I feel like he learned from it, and I think it made him better. Like, he's a great judge, and I love watching him every day. Thanks again for the second super chat. No, yeah, we're all on the same page. We're all good. Again, thank you so much for the raid, my friend. I appreciate it. I cannot wait until my stream is over so I can go finish watching that video. I really want to see how that ends. I want to see those kids cry. I don't know why I do. I don't like the prank, the pranks that aren't pranks, where you actually cause essentially vandalism. You're dumping rice all over the store. You're not cleaning it up. You're running away. They're going back to the same Walmart. Okay, I'm going off on a tangent. Okay, so she's asking for everyone that just came in. I'm going to say this again. This defendant, it's not really a defendant. I guess she's the, I don't know. Is she technically the plaintiff? I don't know. She's asking her landlord for a money judgment because she had some kind of property damage. She slipped and fell. She was injured. Judge Simmons said, I will grant you, some kind of money damage or money judgment for your injuries, but you need to show me how much I need to give you. So I'm adjourning this. Come back with whatever proof you have to show me how much the landlord should pay you. No, she works at home. She's already said, she's like, I work on Facebook, I work on Snapchat. She makes candles. And she apparently cleans houses. She calls herself a holistic healer. And she is asking for a lot of money for not working for a week because she couldn't clean her mom's house. And she has all these receipts. And she just walked through all this, the entire process of making candles. Like, okay, you do that from your home. Not really sure. I'm confused of why, she couldn't make candles because her foot was injured. I don't know. We need Peeps here. Peeps. If Peeps is here, Peeps, could you make soap if your foot was injured? I think she's the expert on this. Okay, let's keep going. Bacon, thank you so much for the raid.
What else was on there? I also make her beef liver and apple cider vinegar capsules. So, and I do those hand by hand, scoop them and mend them in my mortar.
How often do you do this for your mom?
I do this probably 3 times a month, honestly.
Oh, so 3 times a month, your mom is paying you $200?
Yes,
Show me proof.
I would have this.
No, proof that she's paying $200, not your handwritten receipt that you wrote yourself.
I would need her to be here.
Or you can provide me a bank statement, you can show me a cash app, you can show me a
She doesn't
Zelle.
do- She doesn't do any of the cash app.
Oh, all these payments are in cash.
Yep, all them are cash.
Oh,
And then
okay.
she gave me a gift certificate to get a massage one time that she got gifted. So she gave me one of those. I don't usually like to take the money for it, but she'll sneak in and give it to me sometimes.
Why are you? Yeah, because who's charging their mom for anything, right?
I don't,
Okay, so
I
why did you
def-
submit the receipt?
because he wanted them.
No, he wanted receipts.
I wanted receipts for
Don't,
myself.
you're talking over me. He wanted receipts for lost wages. I said that I believe that you suffered an injury, and I think it was just for 2 days. I see a lot of other dates on here, so I'm trying to understand and go through this because I'm using the picture that he provided. You presented a receipt for February 20th, $600.
That is when, those were one of the dates when the water didn't work. Until he told me that he needed ones that I fell. These are also dates of other things that didn't work in the house. When I came to court, I came here for other things, the water not working, the heat, everything else. But you said, we're just gonna stick to the porch.
I didn't say I'm just gonna stick to the porch. I said I didn't find any cause of action for the water. I don't think that you suffered.
You know who didn't stick to the porch? This lady. Because she slipped and fell. Too soon? I thought it was funny. I'm here all week.
Reasonable for me to have to make him pay damages for the water not being off. And I was pretty liberal because I don't have any evidence here where you even told him, hey, my water's not working. And he was like, well, it's gonna take me forever to get over there. I don't have any of that. He produced receipts of where when you did request certain things, within a reasonable time frame, someone was there other than the porch. I felt like the porch was the only issue that was not addressed within reasonable time frame.
There was times that the heat was gone for days.
You provided zero evidence of that.
I have all the text messages I gave you. There was days I said.
I'm not reading all those text messages, and you didn't even produce text messages in appropriate format. I told you that at the last hearing. I'm not going to try to figure out in piecemeal which order this is supposed to be in. You told me that you were missing some of the responses because your phone switched over or whatever it was. That's not my job to present your case for you. You were supposed to present to me if you had a text message that showed on this date, I contacted him, said my heat's not working. You were supposed to show me that chain of communication and his response in order. If I gotta start putting things in order, then it's not getting entered. And so we went through that at the last hearing. I gave a order at the last hearing that I believe that you should get reasonable damages for the slip and falls, is what I said. Or from what you lost during those slip and falls. I didn't give you any cause of action for anything else.
Insurance would probably pay this out, but insurance would have to wait for the judgment from the judge for the amount that they would need to pay. I mean, the landlord has a attorney, which I don't know if the insurance pays for that as well, but I'm sure that they're just waiting for the amount that it needs to be paid. Because this is a personal injury, the judge has to decide, right? That's kind of how it works. Or a doctor, and then you bring that doctor's note to a judge, and the judge decides. I think. I don't know.
The last court date, you asked me to put them in order, and I did. I put them in order for when I was out of heat, and I also gave you pictures of when my heat was, when the heat was low for days. These are slipping, this is proof of me not be, I'd had a boot for like a week and crutches for a week.
I've already granted a cause of action for your slip and fall. That's not an issue. Now we're trying to determine how much is reasonable to be ordered for you to be paid for that. Cut me off one more time and I'm done. Now, as to your text message issues, ma'am, your text messages were not in order. We went through this at length. I had to take a break to let you get them in order at one point. I still have them here and they're still not in order. You make reference to some of them about I didn't have heat for weeks, but you didn't provide anything to support that. Meaning if you have an issue, let's say it's flooding in my house, it's my responsibility if I'm renting to tell my landlord of the issue. From that date, the clock's gonna tick as to how long it takes for him to get it fixed.
I am so glad that someone else said that because I wasn't going to. I've never been on crutches in my life, so I don't know. But when she, she's on crutches for 1 week, doesn't sound like that bad of an injury. But again, I'm not a doctor either. I'm not an attorney, I'm not a doctor. I'm not about to call an injury bad or not bad because they're only on crutches for a week. But it doesn't sound good. For being an athlete all my life, 1 week on crutches, it doesn't sound like it's that bad. Moments of Justice. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome to the family. Thank you.
You've not been able to provide that time frame. You did show me some pictures of your thermostat, which are here. However, he provided evidence of where he sent someone out immediately to get it fixed. Not weeks. It was immediate. I can't give you anything unless you can show me, no, he didn't send anybody immediately. It took him weeks. That's not the evidence that I had. So that's why you didn't get a cause of action for that. We're only dealing with the injuries or the time, and you're saying you're operating a business through your home. So I can understand why I would question your receipts too, if you're handwriting all these receipts and you can't provide evidence of where these receipts are verifiable, because you could go get a receipt book and write all this stuff up right now.
So like even a Cash App statement, is that what you're talking about?
Anything to support that this is actually a business that you were running and that you lost the business. You say you have some text messages where you show me where you had to cancel these orders. Show me where the person, Emily, placed an order for the placenta encapsulation and you had to cancel and suffered a loss of $600.
Like Facebook messages?
Where I don't know how you make your business. If they book this service through Facebook or text, show me. Well, I just asked for Emily. That was from February 20, 2023.
Is this Reinhardt or Bourne?
Born.
February.
This is February 20th on this receipt, 2023.
She turns the placenta into a candle. Come on. I don't know. I have no idea what that would be. Encapsulate. Is that going to be one of those words I can't do? Encapsulation. Encapsulation. Placenta encapsulation. Yeah, I'm gonna stop saying that. I think that's gonna be one of those words I can't say.
So she ended up calling me because she was coaching a baseball team right here. And then she also told me that she would make my website for me right afterwards. This is we called on the phone though. This is when she ended up calling me.
I don't want to see her in a conversation where she calls you. Show me where you had to cancel.
I had talked to her on the phone. That's why she was coaching. So she called me and I told her through the phone. Verbally.
She called that you were canceling?
Yeah.
Okay, show me where she booked it, because you told me you do this through messaging.
Yeah, this was through messengers.
Show me where you talked about this receipt that you provided me. Because these receipts would represent to me that that's what you got paid, not what's owed to you. That's what receipts show me. You got to show me where you sent them these.
She does more than just make candles. I'm just making fun of her for she's trying to get damages because she couldn't make candles for this week while she was on crutches. She claimed she couldn't leave her house. I couldn't leave my house for a week because no one could come up the porch, no one could go down the porch. I was on crutches for a week. I've got all these canceled orders that I just made yesterday before this hearing. So I'm just teasing her. No, the placenta encapsulation is not a candle thing. I sure hope not. But yeah, apparently she does that too. And in her holistic healing business that she has. Yeah, I'm not going to make any comments on that because there might be some people that are watching that are into that. You know what? If you're into that, feel free. Not going to judge you. Not my thing, so I'm just not going to comment on it.
Invoices. You can see them, Mr. Wong.
So this is where she asked me to bring it to her. And I actually stated in this that I was dealing with court with my landlord. And this is, I want to say, February 14th. And she was at the hospital during this time.
And she said she's at the hospital.
Yeah, she was at the hospital at this time.
No, it says that in the text message, what you're saying?
Yeah. I actually went up to the hospital and her mom was dying, so I had given her CMOS. And that's when she asked me if I could do the placenta encapsulation for her wife.
All these things are hearsay unless she's here to tell me that. If you can't tell me or show me where you sent these people these invoices for this service that they contracted you for.
Yes.
And that because of the issues at the property preventing you from leaving because you were injured or whatever, that you had to now cancel and lose that money, then I can't award you. These are receipts. We typically in business give receipts after we receive money.
Yes.
You show me receipts. This is not an invoice.
I would have to go through every single person through there and their messages and print them out through my Facebook. Or if I call, or if I talk to them, because a lot of the people, they would be like, I'm inquiring about your products, and I would call them on the phone.
But it's your burden to prove. I gave you 2 months. You bringing me receipts, this to me looks like you got paid this for the work that you got done. This is not, I lost this money because I wasn't able to do that. Because we don't give out receipts when we lose money.
This was me documenting everything. That's why I said it's amount paid is 0, amount owed is 600.
That's not on all of them.
These are the ones.
That's not on all, some of them just say $600 balance due. That doesn't tell me that you weren't able to, that you had to cancel and that you didn't perform these duties. You're not meeting your burden. You have to show me that you suffered these losses, that you were not able to perform these duties, not that they didn't pay for it.
What's up, KCC? Thank you for the raid. Yeah. Yeah, this is welcome to the show. If you can figure out what's going on, then you know better than all of us. Let's just say that. Purple Dragon, you haven't seen it all. I've been in the science community battling pseudoscience. The encapsulation is so people don't have to eat theirs. Yeah, no, I understand there are health benefits to digesting placenta. I know that. When my ex-wife was pregnant, we read all about that. We heard about that. Didn't do it. But I know that's a thing. I know there are a lot of nutrients in the placenta. That's not what I'm talking about at all when I say I'm not in the whole holistic healing. The crystals and the sage in people's houses. That's what I'm not into. Again, if you're into that, more power to you. My mom was. She tried to push it on me. I was like, nope. My brother is. Nope. You know what? Still gonna have conversations. Well, not with my mom. My brother. We still have conversations. Just when he goes into that, I just turn my back and walk away. But yeah, if you're into it, great. Good for you. I'm just not. Just never fell into that.
Not that you gave them a receipt for it, but that you were not able to perform it. I canceled. This is where I cancel. You're running a business. Are you?
Yeah.
Do you have a website?
Yeah.
Okay. So people just call you randomly and you don't send them an invoice?
No, I don't.
Okay, well
I
then
word of mouth. A lot of my business is through Facebook. I'm heavily known, and when people inquire or write on my comments on my Facebook, I usually call them and ask them what they want. It's better for me to speak to somebody through the phone with my type of spiritual connection other than texting through on there.
That's fine, but business, sound business people follow up with an invoice. This is what we discussed. This is what your invoice is. Because I can get off the phone with you later, and I thought I heard you say it was $300, and you said it was $600. Why would, if you never had a meeting of the minds unless you followed up?
Of course, I will still love you if you staged your apartment, but I know you, and you staged your apartment because you like the smell of stage. You weren't doing it to heal yourself and to get rid of evil spirits. So there's a difference.
Up later and told him what that was. What you're showing, or what you've showed him, are just random receipts from different time frames, which I have to question, because if I look at the receipt numbers on here, they're sequential, but one has an April date on it, one has a July date on it, and one is in February 2024. So you must think that we're all idiots, and that you had number 07726895894 all right next to each other.
I don't know what that means.
That's the numbers. When you get a receipt book, they are numbered. You have 2 separate receipt books. These receipt books have numbers, and the ones you provided to him are in sequential order. I mean, they happen right after each other, but the dates are not right after each other.
I'm not seeing that.
I'm seeing it.
Yeah, you know what? You're right.
See, I'm only seeing one that's right after each other.
They're all right after each other, man.
That was good.
At least when you provided him, because he has pictures of them here.
This is everything that I had right here, and I only see one that's right after each other.
They're all right after each other.
And these are on the same day, so, I mean, these are on the same days. I'm in the 8/1 and 8/1/23.
Invoice ending in 6895 has a date of April 22nd, 2023. It's for Bree Klein, I believe. That was April 2023. You have another one. Invoice is one up from there, 894. So that would precede the one that is in April, but it's from July.
Yeah, no to sea moss, yes to tree moss. Tree moss is where it's at. It's soft. You know, if you're hiking in the woods and you just need to take a little nap, you lay down on it. It's soft. A lot of bugs will eat you up, but it's soft. Yeah, sea moss, no go. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. I just wanted to comment on my girlfriend's comment.
Then almost a year later, from the April invoice, you have one that ends in 890. But we were already at 895 and 894. So either you're not doing a lot of business at all, because you didn't move invoice numbers, at least based on what you've submitted here. And the other thing is, it's going in the wrong order.
This is when I was pregnant?
You're asking me? How would I know when you were pregnant? How would I know when you were pregnant?
I think I was pregnant during this time. When I fell down the stairs when I was pregnant, is you just said 8/9?
No, I said the invoice numbers ending in 895 and 894 and 890. They're not even in close proximity to each other. Time frame. Meaning, if I did work for you today, I'm going to issue an invoice number 1. Tomorrow will be invoice number 2. If I do 3 things tomorrow, the next day it'll be 3, 4, and 5. That yours aren't going in that order. They're all over the place, but the invoice numbers are in order, which would represent to me that you made these up. That's what this represents to me. And that you made them up after the fact.
I didn't.
The timeframes are not aligning. There are also receipts. Receipts to me are not invoices. They're not, they indicate to me where you received money. And these things here tell me where doesn't even tell me you didn't provide the service. It says here, Emily Bourne, placenta encapsulation, $600, amount paid 0, but the amount due is $600. So you must have done the work and she owes you $600. What does that got to do with him?
No, it's about due.
Amount due is what she owes you.
Yes, that's how much she owes me.
Yeah, what's that got to do with him?
I didn't give her the products. I didn't go. I couldn't go anywhere.
You did the work.
No, I didn't.
That's what this receipt says.
No, I have her placenta encapsulation still to this day.
Well, that's your fault that you still have her placenta encapsulation from February 2023.
And I wrote I could have traveled during these.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you give it to her now?
Well, she's been gone for a while.
Your matters, no cost. You're not getting anything. You haven't provided any proof to support it. I don't believe what you're saying. It makes no sense. You're telling me you have somebody's encapsulation from 2023. We're almost in 2025. You could have gotten your money then. What does that have to do with him? You were supposed to provide evidence of where this slip and fall or the time lapse in him getting the stairs properly fixed either caused you injury, personal injury that you had to pay medical bills for, and or where it cost you a loss to whatever your business or finances are. You provided me receipts. Receipts show me you did the work, but you didn't get paid from the person you did the work to. Has nothing to do with him. You're also not providing me sequential invoices. if these are supposed to be invoices, and some of them are for hair, I'm not sure what's going on there, but they're not, the invoice numbers are literally in sequential order, but the dates are not. They're all over the place, which lets me believe that you made these up after the fact. You have a responsibility to present your case, not just that there was a, you suffered, something happened, but that they owe you some money because of that, and you have not done that, man. So for that, I gotta return damages at 0.
All right. You know why this burns? This burns her really bad. Because in the previous hearing, again, I didn't see it, but they referenced it a few times. She was given this adjourned hearing to gather whatever evidence and documentation that she needed to submit to the court to get money from her landlord, because it's the house she's renting that she slipped and fell down the stairs. She was granted a hearing to gather this. And because she tried to abuse it, she got 0. 0. I want to know what the total she was asking for. And then, I mean, apparently there were a lot of receipts, because the judge just said at the very end, like, what is this about hair? You never even mentioned, you know what, whatever. Again, you know what, when you won, you won. It's like people that split tens on blackjack. You already won. Don't split the tens. You won. At least that's what I was told. I never follow what everyone else says. Okay. This case is over.
Any additional matters for the record? I'm gonna need an order.
Your Honor.
Okay, can you present an order for the court?
That's on the-
Are we done here?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, that one was fun. That one was fun. Yeah. What not to do when you win in court. Don't try to cheat. Don't. Why? You know, you might have gotten $1,000. You were out of work a week. That should have been where you should have been aiming for $1,000, and that was it. 1,000 is probably pretty high, especially if you can't prove it. Okay. Next case. Okay, this is Judge Elmore. This is in Michigan as well. This one starts a little slow. I have to warn you, this starts slow. The fireworks happen at the very end of this. This is about a 30-minute case. A lot of things happen. A lot of legal things happen. Probably going to lose about a lot of you in this, because a lot of legal arguments go back and forth. But the fireworks are at the very end of this. Trust me, it ends spectacularly. Okay, let's go.
People of the state of Michigan versus Aaron Michaels Elijah, file 24-13773, F.H. Appearances, please.
Atlantic hearing, Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney for the people.
All right, thank you. The court recognizes before today Mr. Sean Van Appel, agent of the Michigan Department of Corrections. Please sign it. Oh, PD. Oh, sorry.
KCC, I saw that you were in the chat. When I thanked you for the raid, I don't know if you were here yet. So before this case gets started, KCC, thank you again for the raid. Now that I know you're in the chat and you can hear me. KCC, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The court recognizes here at the bench table the defendant, Mr. Michaels Elijah.
My apologies for the delay.
It's all right, Mr. Martel. Thank you. We are here today for a probation violation hearing. It looks like we were last here on the record back on September 5th. We're here on that day for an informal hearing on an alleged probation violation. And we're here today to proceed. Looks like there was a requested warrant for probation violation filed back on August 26th. Mr. Hartel, what are we doing today, sir?
Yes, Your Honor. It's my understanding that people would dismiss count 2 if my client pled to the other charges. He would gladly accept that.
All right, thank you. Ms. Carey, is that a correct and accurate statement? Like there are 5 counts?
Yeah. It's my understanding you'll see the 1, 3, 4, and 5. and the witness count too.
Copy that. All right, Mr. Elijah, is that how you wish to proceed today?
Yeah, I get to talk on the other.
Yes, hold on, here we go. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the information and testimony that you're about to provide shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
You may lower your hand. All right, Mr. Elijah, you are currently charged on 5 counts for violating probation. The first one is that you failed to comply with your agent to get a drug test on August 15th. The second one is that you had used marijuana. That one's going to be dismissed. Count 3 is that you allegedly used cocaine as evidenced by a positive drug test. 4 is that you failed to address your outstanding warrants in 2 different district courts. And count 5 is that you failed to make payments toward your court-ordered fines and costs. So I'm told that out of those 5, you're pleading guilty to 5, except for number 2, which is the one that I already mentioned involved marijuana. Is that what you believe you're doing today? Just talk to your client, talk to your counsel. I just need to know if the answer is yes or no.
Then yes.
All right, thank you. So, Mr. Elisha, do you understand that if you enter a plea of guilty to those 4 counts, you will not have a hearing? You'll be waiving the right to have the prosecutor prove the allegations by preponderance of the evidence. You also will be waiving the right to question or cross-examine any witnesses against you, as well as the right to present witnesses, evidence, or testimony at that hearing. Do you understand? And you also understand that if you're found to be guilty of those probation violations, you will be resentenced on your original offense, which was operating while intoxicated causing serious injury, which has a punishment of up to 5 years and or a minimum of $1,000 to a maximum of $5,000 plus additional costs. Do you understand? Now, if you're found to be guilty of these 4 violations, the court could sentence you there is a sliding scale that's applicable. For 1 violation, the court's limited to 15 days. For 2, it's limited to 30 days. For 3, it's limited to 45 days. Or for 4 or more, such as in this instance, the court would no longer be limited to that sliding scale. It only would be limited to the amount allowed under the law. Do you understand, sir? All right. Now, when it gets to this, what's going to happen is if you plead guilty to all 4, which will be one of my next questions for you, I'm going to ask you to explain to me what happens. Then, if I find that what you provide is insufficient, then I'll turn to the prosecutor and we'll have a hearing. If what you tell me is sufficient, then most likely I would find you guilty. Then I would look to find out what we're going to do for sentencing. At sentencing, you have the right to make a statement as well. Do you understand? All right, so earlier you asked me, do I get to explain? That's when you get to explain. Okay, there we go. As to counts 1, 3, 4, and 5, Mr. Elijah, how do you plead, sir? Before the court can accept that plea, I need to have you explain to me what it is that you did that makes you guilty. Now, one moment, before we get there, the court takes judicial notice of the terms or conditions for probation that it signed on April 8th of 2024 and were subsequently acknowledged by you on or about April 16th of 2024. Now that I've taken judicial notice of the terms and conditions, let's go over this. Count 1 is an allegation to violate a condition 4.22 that requires you to comply with all orders from your field agent. And more specifically, it alleges that on or about
I know, or at least move the microphone away from them, because I think the microphones, you can kind of see it. It's in the back right corner of Judge Elmore's desk, and obviously the stenographer, I guess, is right in front of him, so it's picking up. But that is a couple feet. It shouldn't be that loud. It shouldn't sound like the microphone's right next to it. It's annoying. It is.
15th of 2024, you were given a verbal order by your agent to get a drug test completed by the next day on August 15th. Is that true?
Partially, yes,
Okay, well, let's tell me why it's partial.
because I have the text, it said to go today to get it. Yes, she did say that, but did not say by tomorrow or anything of the sort. And then I'll see you next Tuesday. It was just very,
Okay. Did you get the test?
yes, I ended up getting it a few days later, because I don't do urine tests. I was doing blood and mouse swab with Lindsay.
So did it say, I need you to get the test today?
No.
Did she give a deadline?
No,
All right.
I would have to double check, but there was no deadline. It did say go get tested today.
Did say go get tested
I
today?
want to say,
Some courts do. You'll see. I don't know if I've shared a court that does this in a while, but you'll see the court reporter. They'll have like this giant, like it looks like almost like an oxygen mask up to their mouth, and they're talking into it, and it's a speak to text type of thing. So some courts do have those, just not this one, unfortunately.
did say today.
I need to know. If not, by the way.
Oh,
this
sorry,
is-
I don't have my phone on me.
It's okay, hold on. This is, and I'm gonna use this as a lesson. I don't mean to be rude and try to lecture from the bench harshly. But this is an issue where your counsel need to have a conversation with you prior to coming on the bench and say, if you're going to plead, you need to tell the judge this. Now, if your attorney did not do that, it would be wasting our time.
Have a good night, Katie. I'm going to be done in probably 25 minutes. If you're still live, then I'll raid you. You probably will be. So I'll raid you. We'll come visit you after this. Thank you for hanging out with us, though.
So I need to know, what did it say? You tell me. If you don't remember, I'm just gonna turn to them and
I'm
ask them.
pretty sure that it did say, go get tested today. and
Okay.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
All right. Okay. So let's take a look here at count 3. It says here that you violated special condition 2.8 regarding not to use or possess controlled substances. And it looks like that it alleges that on or about August 18th of 2024, you used cocaine as evidenced by a positive drug test. Is it true that on August 18th of 2024, you tested positive for the use or consumption of cocaine?
Correct.
And is that because you had previously used or ingested somehow that substance?
Correct.
Okay. Now, looking here next at count 4, it alleges a violation of the of special condition 4.22 again, which requires you to comply with all orders of your field agent. And it said that as of August 22nd of 2024, you failed to address your outstanding warrants at the 36th and 37th District Court. Did your probation officer tell you at some time to go out and take care of those warrants?
I sent the text over to his department. I have been working with a lawyer downstate since November and March. And she's been in contact with the general attorney down there. I have called the prosecutor's office on one of them, and they said they're a year behind on fines. The only thing that Lindsay has ever mentioned to me was to see if they could do it on Zoom. The day I was arrested was the only time I was unaware. If you just turn yourself in, it's handled. The way it was presented, I thought there was other ways to handle it. So now I do know if I just turn yourself in, yes, but I have tried since November to handle them. It's been more of a money issue for the lawyer.
Meaning you haven't paid this lawyer money for like retainer to represent?
Yeah, it's $5,000 per case. And I've taken on since the accident.
And what are you charged with in those 2 counties?
What, they're both for a business job thing. One was a check that bounced at a building supply store, because a customer's check bounced to my account. And the other one was doing business without a contractor's license, but I still.
When were those warrants issued, do you know?
Detroit and Macomb.
No, when, I'm sorry, I didn't say it loudly enough, I apologize. When were they issued? In other words, how long have they been?
November was the one with the check thing. And right around the same time, I think, for the other one. Give or take a month off, I think.
We're gonna look at count 4 in just a moment. As to count 5, it said that as of August 22nd, which I'll note is more than 4 months from the date in which you were sentenced, you had failed to make any payments toward your court-ordered fines and costs. Your balance remained the same original amount of $2,569.60. Is that true? You failed to make any payments?
I made a payment today, and I was originally making a payment this week I've gone 15 grand in debt since the accident. We've been down 2 vehicles and I've had 3 more heads on. I'm very behind on many bills, and I really thought I had longer, the court case, 3 years probation done. I was gonna make chunks of a payment. That's just how I pay my bills really. And that's the reason I have not. But I did make a small payment this morning.
Now, Clerk, are you all assessing the 20% penalty? I know it's in October that I need to tell them.
It is assessment.
All right, so and what's the amount owed now?
Total balance currently is $2,549.60.
Okay, thank you. All right, well. Mr. Elijah, have you appeared in front of either of those 2 district courts downstate for an arraignment?
No, I've only called the prosecutor's office and talked to the clerk about it.
Okay.
And all they said was you're behind on cases.
That doesn't mean anything.
No, I know, that's all.
I understand. All right, well, Gary, do you believe the defendant's provided on a factual basis to support the 4 counts? I'm going to say that if he has not gone down, has not turned himself in, has not even been arraigned on it, I'm going to say that he's failed to comply with point 4, case or charge 4. So if that was your one holdback.
Thank you, Your Honor. Yes, I do.
Mr. Hartel, how about you?
I agree, Your Honor.
Ms. Carey, are you aware of any promises, threats, inducements?
No, sir.
Mr. Hartel, how about you?
I am not, Your Honor.
Mr. Elijah, I forgot to ask you earlier before I asked you about your plea. Were there any promises, threats, inducements made by the prosecutor's office or your defense counsel to you to force you to plead guilty to these 4 counts?
No, sir.
Have there been any promises as to the actual sentence the court would give? Ms. Carey, do you report to class the court rules?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hartel?
Yes, Your Honor.
The court agrees and finds the defendant's pleas that they are made freely, knowingly, and voluntarily. The court further finds that the information taken in by judicial notice and the information provided under oath on the record by the defendant satisfies the needed elements of proof for the 4 counts. Therefore, the defendant is found guilty of counts 1, 3, 4, and 5 on the requested warrant for probation violation. Count 2, pursuant to the agreement, is hereby dismissed. Can we proceed to sentencing, Mr. Van Atmel? Ms. Carey, any objection?
No, sir.
Mr. Hartel, any objection?
None, Your Honor.
Thank you.
All right. What do you think he's going to be sentenced with? 5 probation violations, multiple drugs were part of those violations, and picked up other cases. He's got warrants. In other jurisdictions. So, what do you guys think is going to happen? I mean, I think we know what's going to happen. Time served, right? Yeah. PR bond. You guys are killing it right now. Time served. He's going to get a PR bond and time served at the same time, which doesn't make sense. That's going to happen. Yeah. Yep. All right, let's go. This is when it starts getting exciting because Judge is going to start raising his voice. And I know, I warned you guys, this is a slow burn and it's going to take a little bit to get through the legal part of it. But when the judge starts talking, that's when it gets exciting.
Mr. Van Atmel, if you could please just begin by telling me what the guideline range was.
0 to 17.
Thank you.
He has 2 days jail credit. He's, according to the clerk, he's made a $20 payment towards fines and costs on his date. I know he reports that he has been employed downstate in the area where his warrants are. So
He actually works down there? Okay.
I've heard him report that to Agent Simmons. I'm not part of all their conversations, but
Okay, thanks.
I would recommend 90 days jail, 2 days credit, continued probation, 0 time for costs.
Ms. Carey?
All right. Prosecution says 90 days jail, credit for the 2 that he served. He has paid $20 on his fines and costs, everybody. $20. You know what? It's better than 0, not better than 21 or anything above it. It's probably got a lot. He's probably got a lot to pay. $20. 2 days credit. He's doing drugs. Okay. You guys know where this is headed. You know.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to ask the court to follow the recommendation.
Okay, I am sorry. Was that the defense that just recommended that? Yeah, that was the defense that said the defense recommends 90 days. Okay, never mind. I retract. Defense recommends 90 days. Now we're on the prosecutor.
We'll note too that according to what I just saw, there is a statewide pickup for both counts, which is builder, I believe, not having a builder's license and NSF, both felonies. And I will also note that he stated he couldn't get up here because he was downstate. So that's of some concern to the people. And of course, a very big concern to people is that he's using cocaine, given that this was an alcohol-related case, but involved a crash involving serious injuries. So I would ask the court to follow the recommendation.
Thank you, Your Honor. A few things. I know my client will want to say a few things as well. He does have a letter from one of his.
Hold on one second. PSI. Go ahead.
Okay, from one of his employers. I know his agent did describe some conversations. I'm showing a copy to the people if they're okay with me showing this to the board. May I approach, Ron?
You may. Thank you. Thank you. I've got it. For the record, I'm taking a look here of a letter from company Asphalt Sergeant Services. All right, thank you. I've read through that letter. Mr. Hartel, you may continue.
All right. Just for anyone that's naming their company out there that's not, I don't know, 16 years old, Asphalt Sergeant Services. What is that an acronym for? Why would you name your company that? You know, that's funny when you're 16. As an adult, why would you do that? Really?
Thank you. Obviously, my client would like to maintain employment with them. They, from what I can tell, would like for him to do so as well. I do believe that would be beneficial not only to the parties involved with that employment, but also some other parties who are present here in the courtroom today. His significant other, who was the victim in this file, is here. They do rely primarily on his income, which is one of the reasons he wants to be able to provide for them. As far as some of the issues that have gone on, he unfortunately hasn't made as many payments as he would prefer due to most of his other expenses being as high as they are. Not an excuse, but just an explanation so the court is aware. I am glad he did make at least some payments today, albeit that was after the date for the factual basis when we accepted the plea. I would ask the court to.
Yeah, I would forgive that. I will. You know what? I'm not going to say I would forgive that. I will forgive that because that is clever, because that's what they do. Ash wipe being a chimney sweep company, that, you know, that's clever. But if you're an asphalt company and you make the acronym just because you want to say ass because you're dealing with asphalt, I think that's childish. No, the ash wipe is clever. I like that one. I'm probably a hypocrite for saying that. It probably doesn't make sense, but in my head it does, so I don't care.
Also factor in that we have on the defense side believed it was advised and release on the warrants. I believe that's what he was always told from his probation officer. And the last time he was in jail as well, Your Honor. And if the court did want to hear anything from his significant other, who is the victim of the underlying case, she did advise me she would be willing to answer any questions the court has. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Wise, you have the right to make a statement before the court issues a sentence.
In regards to the whole thing or some specific?
Just, what do you want me to hear before I sentence you? What do you want to say? Anything?
Yeah, my main thing was would like to simply be able to work because Amanda is back on restrictions from her doctor, no bending, lifting, or twisting.
And by the way, is that from the injuries that she sustained?
Yes.
I don't know why you mentioned that, but keep going. Keep going.
And that my winter season is basically December. I do concrete. So any of our income is literally, this is the end of the season. And I mean, if I did go to jail, that's understandable. But in reference to when I get out, we're going to be in worse condition than we have been.
By the way, did you know that when you used cocaine?
No, I was having a.
Okay. Go ahead.
Not thinking that week. I tried hurting myself and many other things from stress. Not that's an excuse. And that our other vehicle went down 2 months ago. I have not even got that out. I've just been very backed up in reference to the payments. That's my only reason to that. And when we were sentenced, I was allowed to smoke weed. I have a med card. So
okay. What's your medical condition?
I have PTSD, anxiety, bipolar, OCD, manic depressant, ADHD with oppositional defiant. I haven't been able to get back on my meds just with the psychiatrist in 5 months. Waiting list.
For the record, probation does not have a copy of its medical marijuana card.
Corrections does.
For the record, he said he has everything. When the judge asks you next time what you have, why do you have a medical marijuana card? Just say everything. Everything mental. I have all the mental illnesses. I think he nailed every single one of them. Man. Okay, sorry. Probably should have said that. Let's go.
I said,
community corrections?
When I first got,
That's not that often.
I was unaware of that until Lindsay sentenced me that day.
All right. Anything else?
That is all.
All right, thank you. All right. I've got a couple questions. When was the last time you've been, I'm sorry, hold on, Mr. Van Atmel, is there any information inside the file regarding his treatment?
Yes.
I know what it's supposed to be, at least I can see here. Go ahead and tell me, was there any order that he participated in the kind of treatment?
There is a note from Family Healthcare stating that he did not attend scheduled therapy on August 26th or on August 28th. As a follow appointment scheduled for 9/10. I don't know if he attended that.
What about Catholic Human Services, which court at sentencing, he was in Catholic Human Services and it hadn't been completed? Any information there? It says just an assessment, so I don't know, but did he ever follow up with the assessment?
I don't know that.
Mr. Hartel?
Your Honor, I was sidebarring with my client a moment ago. He advised me there were issues with insurance being able to get into various levels of treatment, just so the board is aware.
At Catholic Human Services?
Yes, we did the assessment and my insurance for some reason still showed Plymouth downstate, which is not in the system. So they said they could not do the billing up here. So Lindsay sent me to another place and I see Pam Weisner and I see her on my own behalf as well. That's why there's two appointments. One was mine, one was court ordered, but that was the same day I missed Lindsay because I couldn't have a ride up here.
Now, it says last in this PSI that we had here back in when this case was originally originally sentenced. It said you were making roughly 10 grand a month, 120 grand a year.
Yep.
Think about that. Let that sink in. Because this is where the judge starts going off. And I promise you guys, this got good at the end. It was a slow burn. It's about to get good. We still have about 10 minutes left, so we still might be 2 or 3 minutes before the judge starts going off. But $120,000 a year. He's paid $20 to his court costs. $20. And he's been buying drugs. He also doesn't have a car, so he's been renting a car. He's been spending a lot of money. Not to the court, and he's buying drugs. Okay. Let's go, right? It must be. I wouldn't know, but it must be.
Yeah, go ahead. And
Why
why
did
did
I
you make?
crash was my main vehicle. I'm now paying over $1,500 a week for a vehicle to use.
All right, sorry. I just spoiled the car thing. He's going to explain that now. I was a little ahead of myself. I know how this ends, and I spoiled that. I apologize.
I mean, it's a painted foot of concrete. It takes it to make it.
All right. You renting a vehicle?
We were, yes, and unfortunately, the cost. I thought we would be able to get our back now, and so I was taking a local job up here for the winter and take some stress off.
All right, thank you. Well, the court, the notes that I had here on my copy of the PSI, I had several concerns. I will note that on CFJ 284, page 9, where it talked about mental health, there were, I think, 7 entries. And I wrote in there, untreated question mark. There's no information about medication, when he began treatment, what kind of treatment he was involved in, and nothing was added. One moment. I'll also note that there were issues regarding bone and neck pain and other injuries that he suffers from strenuous activity. Apparently still able to work in concrete.
That's why I immediately regretted saying what I said. I have no expertise into say he just claimed every mental illness. I shouldn't have said that. He just said a lot of things that, are really hard to diagnose. He pretty much went down the list of things that are hard to diagnose. And I instantly felt bad because there are actual mental illnesses that that can be diagnosed relatively easily. And that's why I felt bad. So I am going to apologize to you for making my comment, even though it wasn't directed at anybody. And I know you didn't take offense to it, but yeah, my comment was uncalled for and I shouldn't have said it.
Back then I noted, does he go to Warren? Because it says he was going to Warren for pain treatment. Warren, Michigan. I'll note here that the defendant has had a prior issue with cocaine where he used it for 3 to 4 times a week back in 2016 and 17. There's no information that he's using alcohol because he's using marijuana for treatment, for some kind of treatment for medical conditions for which there's no information in the PSI.
Yeah, I knew what you were saying. I knew exactly what you were saying. I just felt guilty the second I said it. I don't like making comments about those kind of things because I'm in no position to be able to make comments like that, and I did. And every time I do, I feel guilty about it. So it didn't have anything to do with you. I just highlighted your comment because I wanted to apologize to anyone that I potentially offended for my comment because I'm in no place to make comments on mental illness.
Now the defendant's back to using cocaine. And in this case, there was a PBT of a 0.12. This case, I'm sorry, and then there was a blood test result of 0.128 grams of alcohol per 100 milliliters of blood. And this is a case in which there was an auto accident and a significant other suffered severe injuries. And with all the things riding on the shoulders of the defendant, including the daily reminders of the pain and suffering from the victim, the defendant is continuing to work, continuing to not pay his bills, continuing to not comply with the orders and conditions of bond. And all I heard today, I don't know what the defendant heard coming out of his mouth or what he was thinking when he said that. All I heard was, Judge, I've got an excuse that's convenient for everything. I didn't take care of the warrants even though I'm down there all the time. By the way, I probably could have got a public defender because I got a public defender up here, but maybe I can hire an attorney down there and take care of it, which by the way, I'm down there all the time. I've got all these issues and situations where I can go out and spend $15, $100 a week on a rental car, but I can't even make a $25, $50 payment on my bills here. Judge, I know I've got an issue with alcohol. I'm not using that. Yep, I've got a medical marijuana card for an unreported diagnosis and it's information that I never actually provided when you gave me, Judge, the PSI and asked me to complete the packet. But instead I'm using cocaine, which by the way means I can afford to go out and buy my cocaine when I can't pay my bill of support. And the court gave you a very lenient.
BSBT, I will tell you this. The victim of this crime is everyone that could have potentially been injured by him drinking and driving, which is what he's on probation for. He's in trouble because he's been doing drugs on probation, hasn't been paying his fines. So, yes, I don't know if he got into a car accident. They don't go into the details of his probation, but he's on a probation violation case where he has 7 violations. Most of them have to do with drugs. So you can tell me that there's no victim of this, but just because someone didn't maybe get injured in a DUI case doesn't mean there couldn't have been a victim. So BSBT, you're wrong on this case, and I'm not going to buy your where's the victim on this one. Sorry, man. Wrong case to pull that on. Sparkle Poots, thank you so much for the super chat. And yes, I know you're offended at the idea that I could offend you. I know, Sparkle Poots, you're There's no possible way I could offend you, and that's why I love you. Okay, let's finish the case. I don't want to pause it again till I say goodbye.
Sentence, but put you on an extended period of probation. Based upon the fact that in here you had very, very little, almost no prior criminal history. And that's why I did that. There wasn't a whole lot there. But you are now beginning to give us what are, by the way, there were some violations back in a case in 2018. But after that, you had the active warrants, which I know we talked about. And by the way, one of them is 2 years old. The second one is nearly a year, is about a year old. You can't take care of them. Because all you do is sugarcoat what you say with excuses after the court gave you a very, very gracious offer to allow you to be with your significant other. So when you point the finger back there, that did not help you. She's in pain. She's going to have medical problems because of you. And what are you doing? Using cocaine, not paying your bills, not taking care of your cases, always coming up with an excuse. Whatever is going on in your head, this is the message I'm going to get clear to you today. Get rid of it. It's not working. All you did was come up with excuses. You're the man. You got the responsibility. You put her in injury. You put her in pain. You've got responsibilities. Stop doing cocaine and drugs and pay your bills. It's really simple. And I'm sorry for the tone of my voice, but last time I think I was just too nice. I was too sensitive to your victim and wanted to have her to have the help. One moment. The court finds that you have the ability to make payments and you're not doing so. It's only once you're in trouble that you're able to do so. The court also finds, and I know you're able to make those payments because you're able to spend money on cocaine. And I know you're able to spend money on rental cars and drive back and forth. I know that you have the ability to pay. I also know that you have the ability to take care of your other cases down there, and you know you can get a public defender because you got one up here, which by the way, I don't know why this county gave you a public defender when you make 120 grand a year, but that's what the other court did, and we let that go. So my tone of voice today is not to be rude, it's to drive the point home. Nothing I say from this bench has anything to do with Jason Elmore. It has to do with Judge Elmore representing this courtroom. The court hereby preserves all fines and costs, which of course we've already added that 20% because you couldn't pay it. The court continues probation as previously set by this court. The court takes a look here at the factors I've already addressed. The probation, it looks like there were some issues back in 2018. You've got active warrants that you can't take care of. You're back to using controlled substances. You can pay, you're choosing not to. Everything I've talked about today demonstrates that there are reasonable grounds, proportional and reasonableness for the sentence. And the court sentences the defendant to a period of 210 days with 2 days of credit.
Boom. There you go. 210 days. I told you it gets good at the end. I told you. Yeah, come on, man. Come on. And I love how Judge Elmore kind of just nailed all the points right there. He even said, like, I'm not trying to sound like I'm yelling. I'm not trying to sound like I'm being rude. But apparently I've been too nice to you and you don't get it. I think that was the perfect way to phrase that. All right. I am going to let this video play out. There is only 2 or 3 minutes left. So I'm going to read these off and then I'm going to dip. We are going to raid Katie Zed tonight. She was hanging out in the chat earlier and she's got a crime channel. And it's good. It's good. So let's go hang out with her for a little bit. Tell her I sent you and make sure you all jump in her chat and wish everyone a happy evening. So, but let me thank a couple people real quick. Purple Dragon Chill. I am still so glad you changed your name because your other name was so hard for me to say, and I appreciate it. I don't know if I'll ever not say that when I see your name pop up, but thank you so much for being a member for 2 months, Purple Dragon. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And then again with the super chat, you agree with Sparkle. Close it out. You agreed with Sparkle Poots. Yeah, you can never not agree with Sparkle Poots. Especially every time she says anything, I put it in my head as her actual accent and I read it. I can hear her voice every time she makes a comment, which is awesome. But thank you so much for the super chat. Then Edward, thank you so much. Jail time. Absolutely jail time. 210 days, credit for 2. 218 days in jail for being an idiot. It's just not taking care of his business. Okay, that's all I got. I am going to set it up to raid Katie Zed. We have like I said, about 2 minutes left, and yeah. But that's all I got tonight. I've got a couple good things for tomorrow. We're going to start off tomorrow morning with a sovereign citizen that is not Broken System, Broken Trust. It's not that guy. I found a second sovereign citizen today that I've been dying to play. Just got the good Judge Clark one before I put out the other one. So, yeah, starting off the morning with the sovereign citizen. So, check it out. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Well, I'll see you in Katie's Edge chat if you're there, but I'll be talking to you guys live tomorrow night. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Big in, KCC, thank you guys so much for the raids. I appreciate it. Okay, I think I'm done. Thank you guys for the super chats, membership milestones. Okay, I think everyone. Moderators, you guys are always awesome. Thank you for keeping BSBT in line. Dude's a weirdo. I appreciate you guys. Okay, let's finish it up. Let's go hang out with Katie Zed. Until next time, bye.
You've got all those responsibilities and you're continuing to make bad choices. That demonstrates to this court that you can't take care of your responsibilities. Therefore, and your using cocaine is more important than your spouse, your significant other, getting her treatment. You're going to receive through Mr. Hartel from the clerk 2 copies of 1 document. This document tells you that you have the right to appeal the conviction and sentence in your case. That is typically done by filing a claim of right to appeal. However, based upon the plea in this case, any appeal must be done by filing an application for leave to appeal. If you choose to file an application for leave.
Edward, that came up twice for me. Did you do that twice? I'm going to say thank you again. Just I don't know if it's glitching on my side, but it shows up twice. So I don't know if that's a glitch or if you did it twice. Anyways, thank you again, Edward. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
To appeal, and you want the court to consider appointing an attorney to assist you, you may complete the bottom half of the document and return it to the court within 42 days. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.
Let me approach her.
You may.